Section 8. Being aware of equality and disability. This section of the SERU training goes over your responsibilities and how to provide the best service to all your passengers. There are 4 topics in this section. 1. Assisting passengers. 2. Equality Act 2010. 3. Designated wheelchair accessible PHVs. 4. Assistance dogs. Before we continue with this lesson, we would like to invite you to download our SERU Prep app for both Android and iOS. Topic 1. Assisting passengers. TfL believes it is important to provide a public transport system which all people can use, so that older and disabled people have the same opportunities to travel as all other people. Therefore, TfL expects PHV drivers to deliver a high standard of customer service to all passengers, whatever their needs. However, some passengers may need more help. This section gives you information, advice, and tips on what you can do to help disabled passengers and other passengers that require assistance. Here are some tips to help provide best service to your passengers. Always ask your passengers if they need any help and wait for your offer to be accepted. Listen to any requests and remember that everyone is different. Be ready to give disabled and older passengers some help. This could be as simple as writing things down for them, giving them a little extra time, facing them so they can see your lips as you speak, or speaking loudly and clearly if they have problems hearing you. Talk directly to the older or disabled person rather than to the person with them if they are traveling with someone. If the passenger is vision impaired and asks you to guide them to the vehicle, stand by the person's side and allow them to take hold of your arm or elbow so you can guide the customer along. Do not take hold of the passenger and pull or push them in a particular direction. Disabled or older passengers may need more time or help to get in and out of your vehicle. For their safety, be patient and make sure they are comfortable and have their seatbelt fastened before you start the journey. You can also help by asking the passengers if they have all their belongings with them before you set off and when you arrive at their destination. Tell the passenger where they are going and let them know about any possible dangers, such as pavement curbs, doors opening towards or away from them, and slopes going up or down. This will help prevent accident and injury. During the journey, vision-impaired passengers in particular should be told about any delays or changes to the route. This is also a good thing to do with any elderly passengers or passengers who have a learning disability, as they might get worried or upset if there is a change to the route they expected to take. When you arrive at your destination, tell the passenger the location, then offer to assist them out of the vehicle and to guide them to a safe place before leaving them. Clearly, tell the passenger how much the fare is. When you give change to passengers who are vision impaired, it is important to count out the coins and notes into their hand. Offer to help count out the change if the passenger seems to be having problems. Always have a pen and paper with you so that you can write things down. This can help passengers who have a problem hearing or passengers who do not speak much English. If you drive a designated wheelchair accessible vehicle, make sure the equipment is in good working order and therefore available to use at any time. Be careful of where you pick up and drop off wheelchair users. Avoid places where the pavement is on a slope. Not all disabilities are easy to see, so offer or be prepared to help any passenger. Topic 2. Equality Act 2010. The following characteristics are protected under the Equality Act: age, disability, gender reassignment, marriage and civil partnership, race, religion or belief, sex, sexual orientation, pregnancy and maternity. Did you know it is illegal to treat anyone unfairly based on any of the listed characteristics? It is unacceptable for a PHV driver or any of your customers to use language or behave in a way that discriminates against any person. As a PHV driver, you are expected to treat all passengers in a professional and respectful way, without making any judgment about any person's personal characteristics or assuming anything about them. Topic 3. Designated wheelchair accessible PHVs. Drivers that have a designated wheelchair accessible PHV have certain duties under the law. Your operator should be aware that the vehicle you are driving is a designated wheelchair accessible vehicle. If your vehicle is a designated wheelchair accessible PHV, you must carry the passenger while they remain in the wheelchair and make sure the safety belts are attached to the wheelchair to keep it in a safe position. Not charge extra because a passenger uses a wheelchair. Carry the wheelchair safely and securely if the passenger chooses to sit in a passenger seat. Make sure the passenger is carried safely and in reasonable comfort. Offer the passenger any help that is reasonably required. Exemptions. A driver can only get permission to not carry wheelchairs for medical reasons. If a driver cannot carry out the duties of Section 165 of the Equality Act because of the driver's poor health or fitness makes it impossible or unreasonable, an exemption certificate may be given to the driver. Drivers would need to contact TfL to apply for an exemption certificate, and if granted, they will need to display an exemption notice on the windscreen of their vehicle. Topic 4. Assistance dogs. Section 170 of the Equality Act says that PHV drivers must accept passengers with assistance dogs and must allow the assistance dog to sit in the footwell with the passenger. PHV drivers and operators cannot refuse or charge a passenger extra because they have an assistance dog. Assistance dogs are highly trained working animals, so should not be treated like pets. For do not stroke or feed assistance dogs or distract them in any way. There is a wide range of assistance dogs. You can sometimes see what type of assistance a dog provides by looking at the color of the jacket it is wearing. Remember, though, that an assistance dog may not always wear a jacket. We will show you examples of dogs you might come across. Please do keep in mind that assistance dogs are not always the same breed as shown in the pictures, and may not be wearing a colored jacket. Guide dogs. They wear a white harness with yellow fluorescent stripes. Guide dogs are for young people and adults who are blind or partially sighted. Hearing dogs for deaf people. They wear a burgundy jacket. Hearing dogs are for adults and children with hearing impairments. Dog aid. Assistance in disability. They wear red jackets. Dog aid dogs are for physically disabled adults. Canine partners. They wear purple jackets. Canine partners, assistance dogs, are for physically disabled adults. Dogs for good. They wear green jackets. Dogs for good assistance. Dogs are for people with physical disabilities or children with autism. Support dogs. They wear blue jackets. Assistance dogs for physically disabled adults. Seizure alert dogs for people with epilepsy and autism assistance dogs for children with autism. Medical detection dogs. They wear red jackets. Medical detection dogs are for adults and children with complex health conditions. Dogs and Islamic law. In 2002, the Sharia Council confirmed that trained assistance dogs may accompany disabled people in PHVs managed or driven by a Muslim driver. The Council's guidance helps to make religious law clear and to prevent any possible conflict with secular law. Exemptions. A PHV driver can only get an exemption for carrying assistance dogs for a medical reason. For example, if the driver has medical conditions such as asthma, which gets worse when near dogs, or if the driver is allergic or has a fear of dogs. In these situations, a driver can get an exemption. To get an exemption, the driver must contact TfL to apply for an exemption certificate, and if granted, they will need to display the exemption notice in the windscreen of their vehicle. Complaints TfL will investigate any complaint they receive about a PHV driver breaking the Equality Act. If there is enough evidence of an offence being committed, and it is in the public interest to do so, TfL will always prosecute the driver. If you are convicted of an offence under the Equality Act, TfL will decide how suitable you are to be a licensed PHV driver, and this may lead to your PHV driver's licence being suspended or revoked.